8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a
It
filmmaker.
might be too early, everyone.
I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up to the edge. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island, and it's great to have you along for the ride. Now, we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, but just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island.
The roads on Skull Island can get a little bouncy, so hold on to your belongings. We don't want you to accidentally drop anything off the tram. This is one of the few areas of the tour for safety reasons. If you drop an item off the site, I can't get off the tram to get it for you. So hold on to your stuff, remain seated at all times, keep your arms and legs inside the tram, and go ahead and put on your 3D glasses. We're going to drive this tram right through Skull Island.
Thank you. Watching from New York. Appreciate it, my guy. What's up, Lazy Monkey?
Once we leave the building, you should take off your 3D glasses. Try not to drop the glasses off the tram because you're going to want them later for another special effect.
Hey everyone, go check out today's video on YouTube, everyone. I'm about to upload it.
This King Kong 360 3D is one of the
Big
world's
shout out to
largest
Snake's Army too,
3D
everyone.
experiences designed by director Peter Jackson and the special effects company Weta Effects. They're a company in New Zealand. They use some of the most advanced technology in filmmaking to create this for us. What I'm showing you on the monitors is a little behind-the-scenes footage of them creating this version of King Kong for the studio tour.
With a project like the studio tour, the audience is in the middle of the environment. They're looking in all directions. There's creatures coming at them. They're seeing Kong from this side and T-Rexes from the other side.
Working on a movie, we always know where people are looking. They're looking straight ahead. They're looking at the shot that we're working on.
Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions.
Also, one of the things about this ride, unlike the movies that we're used to working on, there's no cuts because it's one giant shot. This tram that's driving it along through Skull Island is where the camera's from. This ring represents where the screen is 10 meters away.
We're really creating about 50 minutes of a feature film. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presenting them to the audience, it's a hell of a ride.
We're currently driving through another section of our New York City street set. So along with classic Spy and Ted, we frequently use this part of a backlot for American Ninja Warrior. They'll often build obstacle courses out here. There is a mural over here on the right side of the tram that was painted by artist Tristan Eaton. This entire mural of our classic monsters was done with spray paint. He was on a crane going up and down, spray painting that all by hand. This is celebrating over 100 years of classic monster movies that have filmed on the lot, starting back in 1923 with the original silent version of The Hunchback of Notre Dame with Lon Chaney. And we're going to be driving through the sets where they filmed a lot of those classic movies. There are sound stages off to the left side of the tram. They are currently preparing stage 30 for season 26 of The Voice. And that show's been filming on the lot for quite some time. In between the voice stages and the road that we're on
Appreciate
right now,
it, Snakes
we've
Army.
got a body of water that we can use for filming as a pond.
I
or a
appreciate
lake.
you all guys
It's
for
in
watching
this
the
area
videos
back
on
in
YouTube
1973.
all the time.
We added the parting of the Red Sea to the studio tour, inspired by the Paramount film The Ten Commandments. That's the star of the movie on the monitors, Charlton Heston. He made an appearance to part the waters, so the glamour trams could drive right through the middle of the lake, giving everybody on board a sea level view.
Overloaded. Tell them they can walk on water as part of the tour.
That is not a scene from the Ten Commandments. That was a comedy called The Nude Bomb. That was a Get Smart movie with Don Adams. The Creature from the Black Lagoon, filmed out, now part of our backlot. Our classic 3D movie that turned 70 years old this year. That came out in 1954. The movie starred Julie Adams and Rico Browning. Rico Browning played the Gill Man, the creature from the Black Lagoon. This movie is just part of our legacy of classic monster movies that Universal's been involved with, leading up to the upcoming Dark Universe at Universal Epic Universe. That's going to be opening in Orlando next year. This is where it all began. Little Europe is where we made Frankenstein, Dracula, and the Invisible Man, and the sets that we used for those horror films, we had also used for our comedy series, The Good Place.
You, Eleanor Shellstrom, are dead.
What up, cheap show?
After
You shot me out on your channel, so I'm gonna shout you out too.
You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here.
I'm going to pause this for a second. There's a set right in front of the tram. Yogurt has the tables and chairs set in front of it. This is where they filmed this scene from the first episode.
I can't risk going to the bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad.
Hi there. How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Snakes Army, do your job.
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
Now, backtracking a little bit to those horror movies, there's a courtyard
Snakes Army, do
on the
your
right side
job.
of the tram, and this is where we would shoot the scenes in all those movies where the big mob
Go
of
check out
veteran
today's
villagers
video on
would gather.
YouTube. I already
And they've got
uploaded.
the torches and the bloodhounds, and then they go marching through the village. They're hunting down the monsters that are played by Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney, Claude Rains, who played the Invisible Man. This is also our backlot, Little Europe.
Listen now, the monster. We in the woods. Get out of that house. Raise all the men you can, lock the women indoors, and wait for me. Are you ready? Go! Your horses and go!
Yeah, I'm taking a tour right now, Universal Studios. Wild Country, are you a supporter for the channel?
These little European sets were constructed back in the 1920s and 1930s, and then right next to the old sets, we have a modern house on the other side of the tram. Kind of looks out of place. Nobody lives in this house. Can you imagine?
Hey
living in
Ronald,
this
are you a
house and
supporter
trams
for the
driving through
channel?
your front
May I
yard?
know?
This is a set that was originally built for a talk show. It was constructed for Home and Family which had been on the Hallmark Channel. Now we use that house for Bel Air. It's not the house where the main characters live, that's the influencer's home on the show. And that set is a little different than most of the others we've been driving by, because that's not a facade, that's a practical set, which aren't as common. Practical sets can be used for both the indoor and the outdoor scenes. Now at this point, we are a little past the halfway mark of the tour. So again, I do want to remind everybody to please remain seated throughout the trip. Keep in mind, if you're taking a picture and you drop your phone off the tram, and that happens a lot. And you can't wait till the end of the tour to use the restroom. It happens a lot. It's okay. Pull the red cord above you, remain seated. Don't jump off the tram. When it's safe to do it, we'll stop. I'll see what you need help with. We do want you to stay safe at all times. So far, all of the sets that we've been driving past have been our outdoor sets. We did take you inside a soundstage for King Kong, but that was all done on a screen. We have an opportunity to drive through one of our sound stages to show you a set that's built inside. As of right now, they haven't told us what the production is called, but there's a production schedule on a chalkboard as soon as we pull in on the left-hand side. It says that they're going to be shooting a heist in here. The set is currently dressed up to look like a subway station. There's a track on the left side of the tram. It runs the whole length of the stage, and they built 2 cars of a subway train, and they can roll it back and forth on that track while they're filming. This is currently a hot set, meaning all of the equipment is placed where they want it to be for the shoot. Hold on a second. It's an earthquake. Oh no! Hang on, everybody. Survive earthquake, the big one. This is an attraction that originally opened 35 years ago, back in 1989. At the end of last year, we closed it for several months. And it
that's pretty cool, everyone.
Just in time
pretty
for our
cool.
60th anniversary. And they closed it to update. They gave it a complete Hollywood makeover. So they updated all the props and the movie-making equipment. So after 35 years, we brought the set up into the 21st century. The Earthquake attraction was based on the movie Earthquake, which turns 50 years old this year. That came out in November of 1974. And now that you've just experienced an earthquake, we have to calm you down. We got to take you to a peaceful part of our backlot. So we bring you up the hill to a little island called Amity. Amity is a word that means friendship, but the Amity Police Department wants us to close the beach because of the shark.
This is one that's another good one.
We caught a shark. It's hanging on display in front of the hotel, and even though we caught it, they don't want us to reopen the beach because there's another shark. And it's a bigger shark, and we haven't captured it. It's right in the middle of the water. It's a big shark.
Oh, there it is.
It's coming this way.
I'm on the edge.
Mister, this beach is currently closed. Hey, there's another shark. Are you all right? The shark ate him. Yay! This is an old dock that we're driving across. Everybody please remain seated as we make our way through. The shark took the dock. It's still underwater. It doesn't seem to be a threat to us. Oh, wait. Now it is.
Look, girl.
That's like my favorite part of the tram.
That's why my seat has a window. It's a perk. We were attacked by a great white killer shark inspired by the movie Jaws. That's not the shark that Steven Spielberg used in the movie. Our shark works better than his. When they were filming Jaws, they built several mechanical sharks. None of them worked. They kept breaking. They kept malfunctioning. This attraction has been thrilling guests on the studio tour since 1976. Now we're going to see another classic attraction on the tour. To tell you about this one, I have Today Show co-host and weather anchor Al Roker.
Time for my favorite part of the tour, weather. When it comes to film and TV, it is truly a special effect. In fact, to demonstrate how weather effects are created, we debuted our first major attraction here on the studio tour way back in 1960. Welcome to the only part of the backlot with a 100% chance of rain. The flash flood.
This is a very simple effect created with sprinklers. That's how we make it rain. But the problem with this special effect, we do this all day. Every time a tram stops, it starts to rain. The set is built on a hill, and over the course of the day, a lot of water builds at the top of the hill, and then at one point it overflows. And it all rushes down at once, creating a flood. And there's been a couple times that flood has hit one of the trams as we're driving through. This morning, we are that tram. So be careful if you're sitting on the left side, there's a flood coming.
I'm on the right side.
Oh no. Look out back there. Oh, watch out. All this water is recycled. It's going under the bridge, getting pumped back into a big tank at the top of the hill to create the next flash flood. I'm going to show you how we use it in a scene from a movie. This is a family comedy.
Sure.
Big Fat Liar.
It's a boat convoy.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
That actor is Paul Giamatti. He was nominated for an Academy Award this year for Best Actor for his performance in The Holdovers. This little Mexican village set was used in the Paramount film Nacho Libre with Jack Black. In the 80s, it was in Three Amigos with Steve Martin Short, Chevy Chase. And then when we leave the Mexican village set, we cross the border into the Old West. And this is where we used to do movies with John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart.
Yo, what up,
Clint
POM crew?
Eastwood.
Appreciate it.
We're just gonna stir things up here. There I am.
Gary, you hit that man.
Mine hit the ground first. Mine was taller.
There's a suspense horror film that filmed out here a couple months ago that's going to be released next month called Maxine. And in the movie, it takes place at a movie studio as someone is making a movie. So they shot some of the scenes for Maxine here. It's a movie written and directed by Ty West for A24 Productions. It's the third part of a trilogy. It follows the movies X and Pearl. So they shot out on our backlot. Quentin Tarantino used these sets for Sony's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. In the film, Leonardo DiCaprio's character is an actor working on a Western TV series, so they shot the Western sequences out here. Universal isn't the only company that makes movies on the lot. Any studio can rent our backlot sets or our stages. We're going to be driving by the Jaws attraction again. We're not going to be driving through it. This time we drive past it, taking another path. Steven Spielberg was instrumental in getting the Jaws attraction built on the studio tour.
The Jaws ride was almost the inevitable result of the size of the box office when Jaws first opened in June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of a ride. It was a great honor to be invited into a creative circle of tremendous designers at Universal that were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building a physical shark that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the tram. And the most amazing thing about the Jaws ride is it is exactly as it was from the time it was first placed on the Universal lot. There have been tweaks, of course, over the years, but it is essentially what the designers and myself...
You were 9 when Jaws came out. That's a legend, Jaws.
I'm done bashing the shark. Thank you, Jaws, for everything you've done for me. But I will say, consistently, the shark did work much better on the tour than it did in the Atlantic Ocean in 1974.
We're going to hear from Steven Spielberg again in just a moment. There's a set of houses, or a whole row of houses down the street on the left side of the tram. 2 days ago, they were filming a commercial out in this apartment back lot for our upcoming Halloween Horror Nights, which opens in September. For 8 seasons, that was Wisteria Lane on Desperate Housewives. Now we use it for the TV show Ted. That's been filmed out there. If you're a fan of the Back to the Future films, you might recognize the Lion Estate statues on the left side of the tram. The Lion Estate statues were placed on the corners of the street that led to the McFly house, where Marty and his family lived. But those Lion Estate signs are replicas of the original signs, which no longer exist. Those were constructed for the first film's 30th anniversary. Steven Spielberg was one of the executive producers of Back to the Future. We have a long relationship of working with him. It goes all the way back to the very beginning of the studio tour.
My entire career began with my relationship with Universal Studios just as a high school kid on a tour bus. Remember, in those days, there weren't trams, there were buses called the Gray Line Tour Bus. And I was so excited and thrilled to be on the lot. It was my first time ever on a movie studio lot. And during a bathroom break, I hid in the bathroom. And when everybody left to get back on the bus, I waited another 15 minutes until I'm sure the bus left. And then I had the entire lot to myself that day. And in those days, movie lots were so crowded because all movies were made on film lots. Today they're made all over the world, on locations, but most of it was focused in those days, in the 60s, on the film lots. So nobody noticed me when I was going around from soundstage to soundstage, and I really felt, in my own young way, I owned the lot and had the most amazing day of my life.
A lot of the roads that we're driving on are named after people in the entertainment industry, whether musicians or filmmakers. Right now we're on Steven Spielberg Drive. You can see the sign on the post. And appropriately, at the end of Steven Spielberg Drive, we have the set for one of his movies. This crashed airplane set was built for Paramount's War of the Worlds, which Steven Spielberg directed, starring Tom Cruise.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around a vision of this movie. And for them to sit down and talk about the War of the Worlds. I thought, what if it's what them did now, right? Because it's just something you don't see.
Now, directly in front of the crashed airplane set on the right side of the tram, we've got another set that's been a highlight on the studio tour since it first started back in 1964. We've got Norman Bates home from Psycho. It starred Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates, Janet Leigh as Mary Crane, directed by the bastard suspense Alfred Hitchcock. Mrs. Bates usually sits in a rocking chair and she stares out of her bedroom window from the second floor watching trams drive by. So as we drive past the front of the house, you might catch a glimpse of Mrs. Bates. Just beyond the Psycho house, we have our official scale model of the Hollywood sign. And as the studio tour celebrates its 60th anniversary, the Hollywood sign is now celebrating its 100th year. For the first first few decades
Snake.
of the studio
Man,
tour,
Snake.
we had an area called Prop Plaza. And
Who's
the guests
Quiz
could get off the
Kirk?
tram, they could walk around, they could take pictures of movie sets, they could take pictures of vehicles that were used in movies and television shows, props from productions. For our 60th anniversary,
job, Snake
we
Army.
brought an opportunity
Good
to bring
job.
that back. We're going to be heading down the hill into an area called Step
Thank you,
Onto
Snake
the
Army.
Lot. And this is going to be a limited stop for a limited time. You spend as much time down here as you want. You get pictures. We have some photo ops of Jaws and King Kong. We've got some pictures from the Fast and Furious cars. When you're ready to reboard a tram, you just follow the signs around. You might be getting on a different tram with a different tour guide. So just in case you do, gather up all of your belongings. We don't want you to leave anything important behind because you might be getting on another vehicle. You might have another tour guide as well. Bring your 3D glasses with you because you are going to want them when the tour continues. We've got some
Who's
great
Hugo
photo
Gomez?
opportunities here which you can enhance
Who's Hugo
with the
Gomez?
Universal Cinematic AR filter. We've got some
Wait,
QR
Snake's
codes,
Army.
so scan
Just
the
wait.
QR codes and get the photos. We've got a Jaws photo op. You get a picture of the Bates Motel and the Psycho House. You get a picture of our replica of the Hollywood sign. So again, spend as much time down here as you want. Get some pictures and have fun. We're going to be opening the gates on the left side of the tram. Wait until we come to a complete stop. Wait until we start opening the gates before you stand up. Have a good time.
You're a supporter for the channel, Hugo? Yo, what up, Ice Cold? Thank you. Cheap show. Next time you're down to Ore.
We all go on over that sometimes.
I appreciate it, my guy. Sheep Show, thank you for always watching me on YouTube. Appreciate it. Ice Cold Audit, thank you. Snakes Army, thank you.
For those of you who decided to stay on board, what we're going to do is we're going to go around the corner. We're going to pick up more guests. They may have been on another tour with a different tour guide. We fill up the tram, close the gates, head back to the theme park. So the rest of the tour lasts 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes at the most before we drop it back off to where we have the rides and the Water World show. So we're going to close the gates, go around the corner, then continue on with the tour.
So last part I have is Fast and Furious, everyone.
I like how Evie, she's funny. The one on the poster, she's funny.
Paul Rudd.
I turned off the sound because there was music there.
He takes the tour along Mill Street. Jordan Peele has written and directed some films for us, and he took our tour back when he was 12 years old. This is what he remembers.
I remember going to Universal Studios when I was 12 years old, feeling this feeling of wonder. You know, one of my first trips at Universal
You could hear
Studios,
me now?
Jaws
I
ride.
turned off the
One of my favorite movies of all time. Just
volume
feeling like, that's him. That's the Jaws. Like, I don't even know if that is the Jaws. I hope it is. Sharing space with Hitchcock and Spielberg, I couldn't be more proud of him.
Let's go, baby! Let's go!
So the reason I just showed you this video with Jordan Peele, we're about to drive to the set of one of his movies over here on the right side of the tram. This is the entrance to the little town of Jupiter's Claim, which was built for the suspense film Nope. And we're going to stop in the set for a moment and take some pictures. I'm going to bring back Jordan Peele to tell you about Jupiter's Claim.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Jude Park. Over there, look into the Winking Web and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Show. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Well, a little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. I'm looking so live. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy, gold rush frontier town, lies a sinister secret. Welcome to the world of no.
We're going to be driving.
Let me know which ride you think I'm doing next. Right now.
Glacier Expedition. It was better known as the Ice Tunnel. And in the 1970s, we had used the attraction in an episode of The $6 Million Man with Lee Majors. The episode had Andre the Giant playing Bigfoot. And back then, the trams would climb to an imaginary elevation of 12,000 feet. And the only way we could get back to the theme park was by driving through the ice tunnel, where the slightest sound could create an avalanche, and it always did, making the walls spin. And everybody on the tram would tilt along with the special effect. Whenever we would drive through the ice tunnel, we would drive through very slowly, trying to prevent an avalanche. But today we're going to drive through very fast, as opposed to Fast and Furious Supercharged. There's some people in this building that want to help keep us safe.
Name's Roman Pierce. Nice to meet you. My buddy Hobbs asked us to stash you with Sean for a while. Brought you in our secret spot.
Alright, look guys, we're gonna keep Shaw from finding you. But to keep you safe, we need your help. We don't want the syndicate tracking us here. So put away your cameras and turn off your cell phones. One flash or one ringtone can give us away.
I need y'all to take this real serious.
Okay, pull into the next bay.
Alright, they want us to move a little farther into the building. There's no need to put on your 3D glasses right now. We're just gonna hide until it's safe to go back outside. This actually works sound in our there's a part in the building. Alright, I'm gonna get back. I'll look at it later. I'm wired to get off the tram and join them. Oh! Why are you playing this?
I'm the one holding the gun. We have a mind a whole lot bigger than yours.
I'll catch you next time.
Let's go, Cookie Puss.
For